Hi everybody, I'm back with another video. Welcome back to the Addicted Bookworm. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about books that are badly marketed, and one of the things that annoys me, despite the fact that I've got a job now, and I did this video earlier today, like about 7 something in the morning, but I was so tired because really when you start a new job, especially, you don't know like when schedules are released or when you get paid, all this stuff, you kind of get nervous about like, okay, when do I start and all this stuff. So I actually tried to go to bed at like 8 o'clock at night because I was going to get up at 3, and it turned out it just did not work that way. I ended up maybe getting about 2 hours of sleep because I was just so nervous about my first day at work. So I actually sent them a message saying, hey, I haven't gotten my schedule. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to see, like, okay, can you answer that question? And we opened up our lobby at 7. And so I actually took the time to kind of look at how they were putting the rugs and stuff. And it was actually I didn't know we opened our lobby at 7, but the lady let me in, and I let her know, hey, I'm one of you guys, and I actually got my question answered. The schedules come out on Friday, so yay, I'm very happy about that. I will say it's a lot better than my old fast food job, because you didn't really know when the schedule got dropped. I remember one time the schedule got dropped like 2 hours before I was supposed to come in, and if it hadn't been dropped, nobody would have been coming into work. So very happy there is an actual day that it's released, and we get paid every week, so yay, I'm so happy about that. That is definitely a lot different. Definitely a lot different than McDonald's and all that, and it just seems like to me that people like being there. So I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. So anyways, getting away from that, after I got plenty of sleep, even though I feel like going back to bed. Sorry, if I make anyone yawn, I am truly sorry. I'm sorry if my voice is a little high. So, so we're going to talk about like marketing and even though people may not like the lady I'm going to talk about, the idea of using anyone's book series, or even anyone's series name or series character, I don't care who it is, should be wrong to a lot of people. So there is one that people called it a slave kink, which made me want to throw up. So for people that don't know, there is a book that came out. There's 2 books that came out that the marketing was Dramani, like Harry Potter, and people were very upset about it because they do not like either Harry Potter or J.K. Rowling. And as an author, I look at this in a much different lens than I ever would have as just a reader. And the lens I look at it is, okay, I understand that y'all don't like J.K. Rowling. I understand that. I'm not going to attack you guys for not liking her. You have the right to like an author. You have the right to not like an author. You have the right to support an author. You don't have the right. You have the right to support an author, or you have the right to not support an author. That is, we live in America. You can do whatever you want, as long as it's legal. But But as someone who writes, this really pissed me off as a writer, that you would take somebody's recognizable IP, and let's just be a generalized, let's do a blanket, okay? A generalized, let me rephrase that, a well-known IP, and use it in your marketing. That is just so revolting. Now, I think I know where the author got the idea of Hermione being a member of a minority group, and that's from Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. So now it looks like, from just the cover, that it's a slave and a master kind of thing, and that's what a lot of the comments were about, or some of them were about. And Owens was like, she was as neutral as she could possibly be, but she was absolutely clear on taking people's copyrighted world characters, or advertising it using those characters. And I really do appreciate that. I really do. Because she's basically stated in a nutshell that you can't do this. You cannot be marketing marketing someone's book and using an already established IP. You cannot be doing that. That is something that is morally repugnant. And then what it does is it gives people the impression that J.K. Rowling is benefiting from this series. And that's what marketing has the ability to influence people's spending habits, which is going to go into, I'm going to using that to segue into the second part of this video. If they did it to Jim Butcher, or they did it to, even to, I don't know, I think they did it to the Twilight series. They kind of like with the 50 Shades of Grey thing. But yeah, then they said it was like a Twilight fanfic or something like that. They've done it with, was it Love Hypothesis? I think she said it was like a Raylo. It was once a Raylo fic, and then I'm like, what the hell is Raylo? Could someone? I know it's a shipping in Star Wars, but what the hell, Raylo? Okay, I'm learning stuff about this stuff that I do not want to know. And I mean, I've done Harry Potter fan fiction myself. I mean, I used it to test my writing style. Like, is people actually going to pick up a book of mine based on my writing style? But even I knew that I had to create an entirely different world with different characters and stuff. And it's like this. I have no desire to buy Roses and Chains. I mean, if I do check it out from the library, then I'm not benefiting Soto in any way. There's people that will read problematic authors, but they borrow it from the library. So that way they're not, Now, if you live in the UK, that's entirely different. I know Rowland gets money every time that you check out one of her books, and that's probably, that's just a law that the UK has. That is for every British author. And I'm pretty sure that the C.S. Lewis estate gets money, and the Tolkien estate gets money for every time that you check out a book. If you live in England, and I don't know. No, that's just only libraries. That's only libraries. But the point I'm trying to actually kind of make in this is that when you go and you use other people's intellectual property, I don't care who the author is, to promote a book. I know, it was my brother's idea. It's one of the tones you can get. You you go and you're benefiting from the fandom. You are people go and claim that Rowland's going to benefit from it, but if you really look in a nutshell, it's Soto and other authors that are actually going to benefit from it. Now, the only time that Rowland's actually going to benefit from it is if she is told this book violates her copyright, and then she sicks Warner Brothers attorneys on these people. I just look at it as an author, from an author point of view, and not from a reader point of view or a romantasy fan point of view. I look at it from an author. It is Soto and the other ones and the publishing houses that actually benefit from it, not J.K. Rowling. Only time that J.K. Rowling will benefit from it is if she sues. Really, unless, people can argue that it's going to make people want to buy Rowland's books. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't see it. I can't see it. And, I've read fan fiction. I haven't gone out and got a fluffy, I'm sorry, I just don't see it. I guess it's because I look at it from a very different angle than a lot of people do. I look at it from, it is the writer of the book that benefits from the book, not somebody 10,000 miles away. If you go and you go and look at the new Harry Potter TV show that's coming out, I believe next year. Yes, Warner Brothers benefits from it, but so does J.K. Rowling because it is her characters that are being used. So it's always going to be the author that's going to benefit from it, either one way or the other. Another thing that really gets me is, why the hell would you even market it? If it wasn't marketed as a Draymond, which, by the way, I cannot stand because he was a Class A bigot. I'm sorry, but he reminded me too much of people that I personally never want to have any kind of encounter with at all. Why the hell would you do this? I know y'all like your dark romantasy or your the bullshit stuff, but yeah. And you would think that people would learn that there are certain kinds of lines in the sand that you do not cross. But I guess I'm wrong. But like I said, I have no desire to read any of the books. My job is right in the same lot as Myers, and I can walk in and there's 57 other choices I can go with. I don't have to buy Roses and Chains and benefit an author who's I'm sorry. There's a lot of other books over there. I might pick up a Western. I don't know. They have a couple Westerns over there that look interesting. I actually have one of the author's Westerns. No, not this one. on my Kindle thing until they decide to take it off. So yeah, it's why would I want to buy Roses and Chains? There's 52, 57 different books that's in that area. So yeah, that is, that's just my own personal preference. That's how I do it. I decide what authors I'm going to support. I don't let Book Talk or BookTube or any of those places tell me what books that I should be reading. I make my own decision based on my own taste. Which is also, I think, one of the great things about kind of being on a low buy, no buy journey is I get to curate my bookshelves the way that I want to. Anyways. So yeah, it's just, it's a mess. It's a mess. And people are going to be talking about these people until the cows come home. Anyways, getting away from that hot button topic, let's segue into commercial, more dumb commercialism. And this is an up updated version of that one, and we're talking about the new Kindle Color Soft. This is in the signature. This is sorry. This is in the Paperwhite body. So basically, it's in this body right here. By the way, this is just regular Paperwhite. So this one, I believe, is coming to the United States sometime. I don't, in all honesty, I don't even know if it's here in America. I know they brought out the Color Soft for kids. They did that. But anyways, so what are people going to do when they find out that the Color Soft that is coming to America doesn't have the yellow line? They're going to buy it. Even though they've got perfectly good e-readers. Like, I went and I sold a couple of my e-readers, my Kindle Fire and a couple other ones, so that I could afford to get myself some lunch. And that, that was my thing that I did. I did that so that I would not have all these e-readers. And even though I get paid every week, I have essentially gone and basically put most of my stuff into save for later, so that when I go to buy my books, which is going to be books I've already read, there's only one book that's there that I've not read that I'm ordering, and that is Strange Houses, or Strange House. I'm actually going to get the manga for my brother, so he is introduced to this guy's world much easier. But the thing about it is that when we're talking about mass consumerism, every time there's a new e-reader, people run for it. And then, of course, people are kind of doing videos about how much they're not really a fan of the Kobo. And I'm like, okay. Like, alright, whatever. I'm not really a fan of people that have, like, buyer's remorse, because you just did it because of the fact that Amazon got rid of that, or was getting rid of that one thing, so you kind of did it this way. Sorry, no sympathy for you. But yeah, it's one of those things that you look at you look at and go, but that's what's going to happen. People are going to run to Best Buy. People are going to run to Amazon. They're going to buy the newest fangled item, and all they're going to do is have all their stuff transferred. They may not even be able to upload or make available the book, because they've had it on so many different devices. And as I said, despite the fact that I'm going to be getting money. Like next week I will have money, or maybe next week I'll have money. I honestly just look at it and go, yeah. But yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to get on here and just bitch about stuff. But I'm not really a fan of consumerism. I'm not a fan of retail therapy. I think that retail therapy is just an excuse to be a hoarder. I have all these books over here that I've not read, and I'm getting to them. I should have the Midnight Bookshop read by Friday. Because that's what I want to do. I want to get this book read by Friday, so that way I can return it. Because if my schedule says I'm working Friday, I'm going to be at work. Alright, so anyways, I'm going to end it here, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.